Hey guys, welcome back to Off-Road Outposts. I'm here at Element Outdoors. If you're new to my channel, my name's Tim, and I'm here with our good friend Travis. Travis, go ahead and tell us about yourself and how you ended up where you're at now.
Sure. My name's Travis, and I started really just as a kid, loving the outdoors, and decided I wanted to go to school, be a park ranger. And so I worked as a park ranger for some state and federal agencies. I worked in 5 big national parks. So that's really kind of what facilitated my love of the outdoors. And yeah, I just kind of always wanted a business, and I started Element sort of as a hobby, just renting out my one Jeep, set up to go overland travel, and just kind of fell in love with like getting people outside and helping them go out, have a good experience, be good stewards of the land. So it felt good to fight the same mission of my park ranger world and bring that into the overland travel market and give people a safe and friendly way to go and get that experience.
That's awesome. You trusted people with your own personal rig to rent out.
I did.
That's wild. I don't know if I could make that same decision.
I learned a lot along the way. So I've learned something new every year about how to make sure that we get that done in the safest way possible. And and you have to also kind of detach yourself. Everybody, that first rig especially, you really, it's passionate. You love it, but then you have to sort of turn that off and just let these things kind of become cold hard pieces of steel, and they go out to do their thing. But other people come back and they have names for their rigs. And, so it's great to give people, you can tell they take ownership, not just of the vehicles and the places they go.
Absolutely.
So it's awesome to be a part of that.
We're going to go ahead and talk to Tim and give us a little history about where he started and how he ended up where he's at now. So tell us about yourself.
Thanks, man. Like Tim said, I'm also Tim. I'm native of Fruita Colorado, so I grew up in the valley here. Welding is primarily my background as far as my career. I've been welding about 23 years or so. I've had a welding shop here in Fruita for about the last 5. I've been doing fabrication for Element Outdoors for about the last 2 years now, and about a year ago, Travis and I partnered up and kind of combined forces and added fabrication as another service for Element Outdoors.
All right, so for people who don't know yet, what is Element Outdoors all about, and what do you guys specialize in?
So right now we've kind of become like a well-rounded, just general overland service company, I think. Of course, we started out in the overland rental world. We got up to about 5 rigs. And in the course of that, people really just asked, they kept calling. You see logos on trucks and say, hey, do you do this? Do you do that? You got roof racks, do you have tents? What do you do? And we just said, no, we're a rental company. And we went on for years like that. Clients said, okay, I guess we're supposed to do this. So we took on a couple of just kind of fun fabrication work jobs that nobody could find anybody to do. And they turned out to be super fun builds. And it just kind of kept going. So now we just kind of consider ourselves more of a full service overland company. Yeah.
Right on. Next question. What makes your rentals different from a regular full life or rental? A lot of people think you can just grab a Jeep, hit the trails. What sets your guys' overland rigs apart?
I think a few different things. So the fleet that we carry is like pretty diverse. Like we really want people to have something that's very non-intimidating, very intro, ready to go. So we've got just a basic Jeep Gladiator that's basically super simple rack system with a rooftop tent, soft shelled rooftop tent. If people call and they say, hey guys, we want to go do white rim, and it's 8 of us, 4 of us are going to be in bikes, 4 of us are on the truck, and we just need to be able to haul stuff. We can take the rooftop tent off, put a basket on, and we can make that happen in a couple of minutes. And it's a SAG vehicle to go support a mountain bike trip. Or we've got, a Gladiator that's on 40s and ready to go be a workhorse for, a multi-day long trip. Our average rentals are about 8 day. Our minimums are 30 or 3, excuse me. Our longest trips are over 30 days. So we provide full trip planning support service with that too. So the rigs come with everything you need. We'll take a rig to the airport, and it's got all the camping gear on board for 2 people, sleeping bags, cook gear, all of that good stuff. 7 gallons of water or more, depending on how long you're going to be out there. And if you've gotten trip planning service, the whole route is already planned, put onto a tablet for you, and you're just following colored lines each day that you go out. So it's really, not a, we're kind of a la carte service. You can really kind of design that trip however you think it wants to happen. We'll give you guidance on that. But as far as differentiating ourselves from, your average day rental that you see, out of Moab or one of the other Colorado mountain towns, you can fly in here, get your rig, and go out and be on for 30 days at a time, and you've got everything you need to sustain yourself for that 30 days.
That's awesome. So if somebody just wanted to go on an adventure, had no plan whatsoever, you guys would be willing to build that package out for them.
We do. Yeah, we build the entire package. It starts with an interview with whoever our interested customer is. We ask everything from, are you afraid of heights, to, how much experience do you have in the backcountry? How much time have you spent roaming around on public lands? How familiar are you with rules, regulations for those agencies? And we design a trip that works, that's compatible with their experience level. Okay. And if it's a longer trip, we can work their experience level up as we go. So we do that too.
That's awesome. So you mentioned if they flew in, you'd be able to meet them at the airport. Is it only here in Grand Junction, or are you willing to meet them at other airports, like Montrose or Denver, or what have you?
Yeah. It's a mix of things. Like, we typically, our average customer flies in, comes to the shop, picks up the rig here at the shop. That's the easiest way to do it, just because it's our first time to meet face to face. If they've forgotten something, if they have other questions, we have the shop here as support to be able to grab extra gear, take extra time to set up things. If it's bad weather, we can pull into the shop and, go through our process. But we do deliveries as far away as, it's not uncommon for us to take a rig to Las Vegas and drop it off, and then go pick it up in Denver, 30 days later, or Salt Lake City, and then go to Phoenix and pick it up, or whatever else. So for longer duration trips, especially, we'll do, pretty extended delivery ranges. Okay. But for, on average, we're typically spending our days cruising between Grand Junction, Moab, and Montrose to do delivery service.
That's awesome that you guys offer that to make it more appealing to customers coming from out of the area.
Sure.
To be able to rent your vehicles and hit the trails immediately. That's pretty sweet.
Not only that too, we don't just give them the rig and then here, see you in a week. We're a phone call away. We went and welded up a bracket for a customer last week in Montrose. We beat them by like 10 minutes before they even got off the trail, and we had them back on the trail in, I think, 36 minutes. So we're there the whole step, the whole time. Okay. If they need something, we're there.
Yeah. So if you say you're able to communicate with them, is it only through cell phone? Do you guys have another means of communicating with them if they don't have service?
Yeah, so we have Garmin inReaches that we can send out. So whenever somebody checks out a rig, there's add-ons that they can do. So they can add on Garmin inReach, and then we've got SAT communication with them for texting to be able to communicate with them while they're out in the field and be there if they need us.
That's awesome. And then they have that peace of mind that somebody knows where they're at and how to get help quickly.
Absolutely. Sure.
That's great. Yeah. My next question is, do you guys have a wild story about a build that you've done, or an expedition you've been on, or even a customer that is just, they went out on some wild adventure that maybe they weren't prepared for?
Sure. Yeah, I think, do you have one?
I have this morning. We just got a bunch of pictures. We actually built a custom off-road trailer for a guy, and he's up on the Grand Mesa. He has a rock and roll hitch on it, and he definitely took it on a pretty extreme trail, and he sent us some pictures of it flopped over on the side. It's submerged underwater and everything, and he got it flipped back over, and nothing leaked, and everything's good to go. He's still enjoying his camping trip. So that's awesome. Seeing a disaster like that, but knowing the guy's still got a huge smile on his face and he's still having a ball was great.
And a true testament to what your guys' equipment can handle.
It was
to the max test.
100%.
Sure. We haven't seen it yet, though.
Yeah, we just saw pictures, and it's hilarious. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. So
I'd probably do the same thing if I had something built like that. I'd be like, all right, let's test it out. Let's see if it's actually gonna do what it says it's gonna do.
That's funny. They got it flipped over at 7:30 last night, and they got to camp at 11:30, and they're still having fun. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Who are your customers? Like, are they more seasoned explorers or are they trying this out for the first time? I guess, like, what's your main client?
Sure. It's really well-rounded. We have some folks that have zero experience, camping or really exploring the backcountry at all. And then we have others that are, seasoned veterans that come from, some other place around the world. It's just not feasible for them to get their rig here. And they're just renting a rig so that they've got the means to go out and spend a week out, without having to import a vehicle or do those types of things. So it's the whole, breadth of skill levels and, cultures and folks that we see. So
No, that's a great service. I mean, people like myself, when I first started, I had no idea what overlanding was about, and I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money to go to figure it out. So this is a great option to get your feet wet and see if it's something you're even interested in before you dive into it.
yeah,
Like if I wanted to go to Florida, if there's a company like yours there, I wouldn't have to take my own rig. So
Right,
that's pretty cool
definitely.
that you guys offer that.
And also trying a rooftop tent. If you haven't ever tried a rooftop tent before and you want to try one out, we can
Right.
make that happen for you before you pull the trigger on it. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Because they're not cheap.
they aren't cheap,
To see if you like it.
and they're not for everybody.
Right.
I personally don't like rooftop tents, and I'm
I
I'm
love
more of a
that.
ground tent guy. Yeah, but they have their place. They really do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's say someone's never done this before. Where would you send them for their first adventure?
He'd go west, I'd go east.
yeah, probably so. Probably so. One of the beauties of being right here in Fruita, Colorado is we've got you go 45 minutes that way and you can be up in the mountains, or you can go, 35 minutes that way and you're kind of out into the Utah desert, But man, everything is user centric to us. So we're asking people, what's the experience you want? What's it look like? For somebody that's a novice user, I care more about that they have a good time, even if it's not necessarily what they expected. I've had runners come back. One of my favorite things anyone's ever told me is, that was amazing. This was like going to the best movie that I've ever seen without having seen the trailer for the movie. And I thought that was a really, really cool compliment, really cool way to say it, because they had a trip planned for the Colorado mountains, and it was late summer. It was kind of getting into monsoon season, and we were getting a lot of rain in the mountains. And so their trip was going to be rain filled. They wanted to go anyway. It's like, man, I really think you guys should go this direction. Weather's going to be great. And and so that's what they did, is we flopped their trip plan for them. I just kind of put in another kit onto the tablet and sent them out to Utah, and they had a great time. It's building an adventure mindset is kind of really what it's all about. I think it's like getting people to think like that and just roll with the punches and not get glued to any particular plan. A lot of people, that's sort of how they function, is in a planned world, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of times things do go to plan and it works out, and other times you roll your trailer over in Grand Mesa by yourself. So
It's law, right?
yeah, so
Can't go wrong.
sure. So welding up a sway bar link bracket, we rent out machines and we work hard to keep those things, in the best condition possible. But you don't know that bracket's going to break, out there or whatever. So we do our best to just set expectations that, hey man, this is all about adventure, and you just get to live part of it. And most of the time, our runners are awesome. They just jump right in, and they're like, it's an exciting thing to have something go wrong sometimes, and we just try and make that, facilitate it so it's not that big a deal. There's like perceived risk and actual risk, and
Absolutely.
we work to balance that out.
Absolutely. Some of the most memorable trips I've ever been on is because something went wrong.
Absolutely.
And we had to work our way through it, and it made you more knowledgeable. It made you plan better, and make sure you had all the tools you needed in your toolbox to complete your adventure. Just adds to that fun aspect of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
What's your guys' return customers like? Do you have a lot of people that come back and rent from you guys again? Or do you have more people that come in this for the first time?
Sure. We're gaining, of course, the longer you're in business, we keep adding return customers as we get more and more customers that come through the door. But we're getting a lot of those. And it's been a lot of fun to watch those customers grow over the years, where they went from that 3-day trip to now they're doing 10-day trips, and really love it. And then we've got one customer that comes in that's, this will be his 5th year to come in and go on a trip. So it's really nice to have those return customers, get to build that relationship. So it's just like having friends come in and hang out with us now.
Yeah. do you guys spend most of your time here? Or do you also go out on adventures?
We do our best to get out on adventures. Yeah, sometimes it's kind of funny. I'll get a call from, especially those return customers will call me personally, and I'll just have to leave them a message and say, I'm out on the trail right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fun too.
and everybody loves that. It's really cool. So they'll send me questions about other places that we go and hang out and play too. So, or they'll be in Colorado for a trip that's not an overland vehicle based trip, and they'll just say, "Hey, have you ever been out here? What's something fun to do in that area?" So that's all part of it.
Right on. What other services do you guys provide here, or any other partners that you guys might have?
Element's really expanded from being just a rental service company to when he and I partnered up last year, doing full-on fabrication. We do custom off-road trailers. We do custom flatbeds if you want to put your camper on your truck. Speaking of repeat customers, we had a family from Minnesota, and they were camping up on the monument, and their teardrop trailer cracked. The frame cracked. They were going to cut their trip short by like 3 weeks, and they couldn't find anybody to fix them up. So we had them back on the road in no time. And, they came back last year, and they've ordered products from us. We're doing a custom charging box for their trailer now. And so again, just getting those repeat customers just from the other side of what we do from the fabrication side. We just put a Dometic air conditioning unit in a Springer van last week. And so Travis is definitely a guru when it comes to charging systems and all the electronics and stuff like that. So usually it's a job that nobody else will touch, and we'll bring it on. So
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. I see you guys got some motorbikes here. What aspect of this of Element is the motorbikes?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we are partners with another company called Rogue Moto, which essentially does what Element does, but in the two-wheeled world. So Alex is a great guy, and we're happy to be partnered with him. We're in the same building, so we kind of quickly figured out. He was in town here too. We've worked together for years. Just whenever somebody calls, says, "Hey man, I want to rent a truck," and I've got this buddy, but he wants to do it on motorcycles. We'll say, "Oh, we know a guy. Tell him to come on out," and we'll hook him up with Alex. And so we do a lot of collaboration. Anyway, before we were doing a lot of that. Now, obviously, we're in the same building, so we work hard to give people options to get out there for whatever type of experience they want to have. Alex plays a big role in that. And then we're able to help each other out too whenever he needs some bikes picked up somewhere, or whatever chaos is happening. We're able to support each other. It makes us a more reliable service altogether.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys again for having us and doing this interview with us. Where could my subscribers and followers find information about Element Outdoors?
Yeah, sure. You can always go to the Instagram account. You can just look it up, the Element Outdoors or Element Outdoors, I think is our Instagram handle. Facebook, we're on TikTok too. Typically, you search Element Outdoors, you'll find us or a camo company. There's only two to choose from, so we're not hard to find. If you want to go to our website, it's www.element-outdoors.com. And we've got all the rentals that we have available there for to check out. And we've got some online sales, and you can book shop time, stuff like that through the website too. All right, well, welcome to the shop, guys. Here in the lobby entryway, we've just been in the shop for like a few weeks. I wouldn't even call it a month that we've been in here. So
Yeah, maybe
it's still a work in progress, figuring out exactly how we're going to want things to operate. But yeah, so this entry lobby, cool places come in. We'll have more and more merchandise here as we go for display retail stuff. And then we've got a nice service counter here. People come in, pick up rigs. They'll sit down. We'll go through for orientation if they got a trip plan. It's a good time to go through trip plan. We've got a nice TV. We'll put their plan up on the screen and walk through it all with them. So make sure that they're ready to hit the field. Yeah, sort of the front of the house here. And then we can go back into the shop and check out the sort of back of the end operation here. So coming through the into the shop doors here, this is Alex's half of the shop. So you can see he's hard at work, getting some preparations done too to make the space work for him. So see a lot of rental rigs and traffic working happening here. But it's a cool workspace. So anyway, this is Alex's half, and then we're in the back space. Then coming into the back of the shop, we've got a couple of vehicle work bays here. So there's a total of 5 working doors that we have. So really what we call 5 workspaces for vehicles here. So we use primarily just 3, and then we do all our fabrication in the back stall space. That's kind of, you know, the chaos of what's happening in the shop today. And then of course outside we've got a couple of the rental rigs. If you guys want to go out and walk around one of those, we've got a Jeep Gladiator Rubicon setup, which is sort of our bread and butter rental. Just got a hard shell 23-0 on it, Sherpa rack. And then all the gear just slides into totes in the backside. And then we've got our super simple Gladiator Sport out there it's the one we were talking about earlier, that you can just pop a tent on and off, or a roof rack, or whatever you want to do to sort of be a versatile gear hauler. And then we've got one of the Gladiators on 37s, or actually it's on 40s now, that's out there hanging out. And I think the Power Wagon's out there too. So all of them are kind of in between trips right now. We had 2 arrivals today, and we've got 2 going out this weekend. So
Sounds good. Yeah, let's go check out those rigs.
all right.
Yeah, your shop is cooler than inside the.
Yeah. Right now it's definitely cooler in the shop than it is in the lobby out here.
I love the color of that tent. That's my favorite color, that OD green.
Yeah, I love the 23-0. They got the blackout, you know, material in there, so it's all nice and dark.
I still have the first tent I ever bought. Is that it's a BearPaw Expedition. They were a company out of Palisade that's no longer here.
Oh yeah.
But I bought it used, and I was like, this thing works so great. Like, I love it.
Sure.
So
really cool little trailers.
yeah. I still want to get a hard shell tent like that, but
Yeah, this has been pretty great, man. I really do like the hard shells, but yeah, so this is like the basic rig. So this is kind of the central, you know, go-to out of all of them. It's the most popular. So it's just Jeep Gladiator. It's just on 35s, 1.5 lift, and 23-0 hard shell armadillo tent, and then Sherpa rack, both on the cab and the bed. So fairly basic. It's really not too crazily built, and then gear that goes interior just varies depending on what our renters want out of it. So.
yeah, well, it looks like it's pretty well set up for most adventures that you'd want to go on.
Yeah, and we can throw on some Colorado adventure boxes or whatever we want to up top and add some additional storage to it. Just kind of depends on what everybody wants. All the rigs are somewhat you know, modular, flexible, whatever you want to call it, that we can pop stuff on and off to accommodate special requests, because it's not just like the overlanding world that's renting a truck. You know, there are vehicles that go and support adventures that other people are, you know, having. So they're that's why we kind of call ourselves an adventure vehicle support company, because we're really just trying to go out and support the habits people already have in the outdoors.
Right.
Give them a vehicle that meets the needs. So we try and keep them versatile.
Yeah. What do you guys carry inside your rigs?
So inside is typically, you know, recovery kit, air compressor, small tool kit, and then there's phone holders, you know, GPS mounted. So if they do have a Garmin, or if they've got trip support and they're carrying a tablet around, there's tablet mounts in most of the rigs for them to be able to mount accessories up. Otherwise, fairly simple.
Right on. I like it. All right. Next rig. What else you got?
So in between mode, I guess.
Okay.
But normally there's it's just the Yakima Quick Connect rack system that goes across the back of there. And we'll leave that rack attached, and you can, you know, have one attached to a tent, one attached to a roof basket, one attached to bike racks.
Okay.
You can just pull it off, put the new one on, and it just clicks on and off, so you don't have to unbolt anything.
Super simple.
And so super simple, and that's the guy that just goes out. I said it's kind of the white rim workhorse. That rig spends a lot of time out on white rim and Canyonlands.
Okay.
Going and making rounds for mountain bike support trips, or just a simple overland, you know, 4-day, 3-day trip.
Do you have anything that's more full size for people?
Sure. So that's the other popular rig is the Power Wagon, which is the biggest rig we have as far as full size goes. So it's roomy. It's great for a big guys trip, or a family of, you know, 4 or 5 that want some additional space. Cab space is great. And then it's got a soft shell 23-0 tent on it, and you know, extra fuel and max tracks mounted to it. So it's another versatile rig. It's a little more fixed. It's not as modular as some of the others. That stuff is relatively fixed, but it does work for a lot of purposes. So it's a nice.
You want to show it to us?
Yeah, sure. Let's go walk around. Yeah, so this is a Power Wagon. It's kind of the full size workhorse of the fleet. It gets a lot of rentals for more extended trips, bigger families, guide trips, things like that. With all the cargo space, we can throw plenty of extra ground gear in there if we need to support other people. It's got the Breezeway 72 tent on it, so it's about the size of a king-size bed up there, so it's got plenty of sleep space. Like I said, we'll do ground gear if we have more travelers that don't all want to be in the rooftop tent. We can always support additional folks by adding some other ground accessories. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a pretty diverse truck as well.
Yeah. It looks like it can handle a pretty good trail.
Yeah, it's on 37s. The air suspension in the rear too, so a little bit of adjustability. We do use this one for towing, so we've got a off-road trailer too, so you can you know, its workload varies quite a bit. So it's nice to have the airbags for a little suspension adjustability.
For sure. I need to do the same thing on mine. That thing rides like an old tank.
Right. I don't know why, but the Australians love this truck for some reason. Anybody that rents from Australia comes over there like, we want the power wagon, man. So yeah, it's anything with 37s or bigger, you know, they're loving it because they're limited on tire size. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. You got some sweet rigs here.
Thanks, man.
Thank you guys again for showing us around. Look forward to hearing about some more adventures.
Oh yeah, look forward to going on some adventures with you. So,
Yeah, let's do it.
yeah, let's get out.